What's going on, everybody? It's me, it's RDV, hanging out with Eric Breen on I Love Comics. What? Well, we figured we're going to burn down a house. Let's burn down somebody else's. He is busy right now. He had to go pick up either his wife or his daughter. He's playing chauffeur again, but he'll probably pop on later. If anybody wants to join us that might be watching, well, depends. Like I said, it's kind of just a small group right here.
Or even if you're not watching and want to join us.
Yeah. I was thinking about doing a Christmas comics tier list, but instead we can just talk about the actual comic books too. We've read quite a few on our channel, the Geeky Puppet Show.
You know, if you painted that facial hair white, you could hide on the side of a bucket of KFC.
Right? Right? I don't know. I'm just trying something new. That's
now you get in your best Southern accent, say it's finger licking good.
It's finger licking good.
You're on your way.
Hey, if Jason Alexander can beat Colonel Sanders and Shawn Michaels,
well, I can't because I can't grow that much facial hair.
I don't know. It's a little bit. It's getting there. No, it's not that bad.
It'll be there by the time the stream ends.
I just shaved this part like not even 5 minutes ago. Yeah, Christmas comic books. I've been partially just been going through. Well, for me, when it comes to Christmas comic books, a lot of us are like, "Well, you mean the holiday specials that DC put out?" If you like those, sure. I like the DC Christmas specials, the first two. And then, of course, there's a Jonah Hex holiday one special that went too as well. A lot of these are people don't realize when you pick them up, but they're actually just a collection of older issues of Batman and some what was it, the Superman, and there's also Teen Titans. There's quite a few of them, and then I didn't realize if you go even further back, there's quite a few comic books as far as DC and Marvel that were never collected either. Especially the Action comic books. We read what was it? Action Comics
105.
105, and then there was another one. We read Adventures with Superman. That was 462. Or is it 640? No, I think it's 642. I can't remember. It's 462.
It's 462.
Yeah.
About the girl who was living at the planet.
Alice, yeah. I feel like that book gets overlooked a lot.
Well, there's a lot of books out there.
Yeah, Marania. I'm not particular. I mean, I'm not. It's not like we're not going to start. Is Die Hard a Christmas movie or is it not?
But is Die Hard a Christmas comic?
It could be. It is a video game. My thing is that they don't have to celebrate Christmas, but my thing, it has to have Christmas in the book. If we're doing Christmas covers, that's a different story. There's a lot of books that have Christmas covers, but they're not Christmas stories on the inside.
You know what and we read one here also. I'm now partial to the old Dell Christmas comics.
The Donald Duck.
I love. I pull up one of those 100-pagers and
yeah,
that's a good chunk of an evening right there.
Well, look at Archie's Christmas stockings.
Same thing. I used to have the first issue of that, and I wish I still did.
Merry Christmas to you, Marania. Merry Christmas to MK. If you're a dragon, Merry Christmas to you as well. Anybody who's watching. But yeah, dude. Yeah, those as a kid. Wow, that's
no. I had them in that collection, that giant collection.
Okay.
Because the Archie Christmas stockings originally were what became Archie Giant series.
Oh, okay, because they're volume ones and stuff.
So like the first 3 or 4, maybe 5 or 6 issues are called Archie's Christmas stocking, and then it becomes Archie Giant series, and then they put the Christmas stockings in that.
Yeah, I guess I saw I was on Good Comixology. They have them free right now. Everybody has Comixology. You can go read all the Archie's. There's like 8 or 8. I think there's like 7 or 8 volumes of just the stock Christmas stories all together. I don't know how many. And I'm curious though. How many do they repeat the same? Like, I saw this story was in the previous volume. You know, this randomly appears in the next one.
Yeah.
Like, I imagine when it comes to Archie, there's so many stories that are similar, but they're different stories.
And I'm sure there's plenty that are just reprinted from year to year or a couple years apart. But
I gotta say, that's what I didn't like about the DC specials. Like the first two, like they were kind of the same. You got those stories, but then you got the Jonah Hex holiday special one. Jonah Hex was the only one that was new. It was like they reprinted the same stuff again. It's like, what? That's just seems like you're lazy.
Well, you also have to remember there was a prevailing opinion that among comic book readers, it turns over every 3 to 5 years.
Yeah.
You know, collectors hang around more, but so they figure you wait a few years, you're mostly going to hit a new audience anyway.
Sure.
Hey, you don't have to pay anybody to write them again, draw them again.
Sure, but I mean, like, it just kind of felt kind of like, wow, you guys couldn't put Action Comics 105 into one of them. I don't think that was even the Santa Claus was even in the DC specials. Now that I think of it, but yeah, so we read Action Comics 105, and then I thought there was another one other than there was another Superman story. I know there's a Batman. I think it's like 23 or 20, 26. That has, let me look. I was building a collection here of thumbnails, and who's this? It's well, of course, because you were here, he had to show up. What's going on, Evil Black Cat?
Not much of nothing.
Merry Christmas to you if you celebrate it.
Bah humbug.
All right, you're gone. Oh man!
So what's the reason for your cheerier than usual disposition?
Was playing Arkham Origins, and the game glitched out at the worst possible moment.
So you lost all your progress.
Yeah, it was the I am the night mode where if you die, you have to reset at the very beginning.
Yeah, that sucks. You can't. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Batman 27. I've never read this, but I saw there's a Batman and Robin and Santa Claus holding the sack over there, and Robin's holding it up. Season greetings from Batman and Robin. I've never knew that there was. I've never heard of the story as a Christmas story, but it says back the on the cover says back the sixth war loan. Have you ever read the Batman 27?
I don't think so.
There's a lot from the 40s I'm going through, and a lot, but
yeah, these are the Batman 27 was, I think, Zach's favorite politician was still in power.
Really? Was that FDR? I don't know.
Sure, we'll say that in case your mom's listening.
Yeah. Maranya, I wasn't talking about putting Action Comics into any holiday crap today. Sorry, the holiday stuff. I'm talking about back in when they did the DC specials. The holiday specials have not been the same since 2008. I think those were the last one was a good one. It just feels like they just really just put the most boring stories together. Where like when DC dropped the word Christmas, that's when I think then the quality of the writing went down.
Yeah, and Maranya's right. I said they're so afraid of doing anything to offend the perpetually offended that they end up pissing off all the people that would still be buying their books. And it's the same thing with these Christmas specials that can't be called Christmas.
Yeah. Happy holidays. Okay, are you just being lazy because you don't want to say Christmas and New Year's? I mean, they're not that close together.
No, here's my take on that's always been: if you're talking about Christmas and New Year's, say Happy Holidays, but why? But preface it with Merry Christmas,
right?
Because
that's also because there's Hanukkah and then there's Kwanzaa, so they just wanted to do something that's an umbrella term. Like,
but there's
like 5 of them. We're not gonna bother asking what it is. Just blah.
Oh, but they're perfectly fine with singling out Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, but you won't you'll never see the word Christmas again in one of those.
Yeah, that was the original thing, but then the annoying people decided to coin it.
So Merry Kwanahana,
Yeah.
Kwanzaa, and then
I mean,
and
'cause
happy,
I said, if you want to say Happy Holidays, because I said,
happy
New Year's
Kwanzaa.
Eve is not Christmas, but again, it's the people that will not say Merry Christmas that annoys me. Because again, if I were in another part of the world that doesn't celebrate Christmas, I'm not going to get offended because someone says their what theirs is, and expect them to say mine.
Like when it comes to Valentine's Day, I'm not gonna say you can't celebrate Valentine's Day. I just say it's Single Awareness Day. That's pretty much what it is.
Yeah, happy, really shitty day for that one fat kid with pimples that never gets a Valentine.
Right?
But that's cold.
Yeah, but so should we cancel rename it Valentine's Day because
no, just stop celebrating it altogether because it's not fair to that one fat pimply faced kid. That's how we do things now.
Yeah, I know. It is weird how cancel culture is really taking root with everything.
It's funny how, I said it makes sense when you think about today's kids this generation are pretty much all narcissists, and when you're narcissistic, you're only thinking about yourself. So it stands to reason that you would cancel something for everybody else because one person is offended. When you think about it like that, it all makes sense. But we're here to talk about Christmas comics. So I'll get all the way off my soapbox now.
Where are you guys getting these soapboxes at such a cheap discount?
Well, I have to, I'm short. I need something to stand on.
You're not that short. I'm 5'9". I'm sure you're right around my height. What are you, 5'7"?
If it's true that you shrink, I was 5'8". That's where I topped out.
5'6" when you start leaning forward.
Just say you're 420.
Yeah. Okay.
Same thing, but sounds cooler.
Anyways, February 14th is Happy Selling Overpriced Candy and Roses Day.
I thought that was Sweetest Day.
No, there's Valentine's Day and Sweetest Day.
I know.
Isn't that? It's like how many freaking days?
Sweetest Day was absolutely made up by somebody with a good business idea.
Well, yeah, you know, or some girl who wants to be have at least 2 holidays to herself.
Yeah. It's the anniversary of the St. Valentine's Massacre Day, so on February 14th, we shoot anyone that's overcharging for booze.
Right. But now I was going through. There's a lot of books that I've been enjoying. I go back to like old comic books like Amazing Spider-Man 166. We read that a couple of years on the channel. That is the one with the Stegron and the lizard fighting it out. Then,
Lizzo? What?
Yeah, Lizzo.
Yeah, Lizzo.
Yeah. Basically it's where Kurt Connors reverts basically the lizard, and he basically is in the middle of winter, and it's just around Christmas, and Spider-Man has to basically break up the 2 dinosaurs that are fighting in the museum, and that's where the dinosaurs come and are reanimated, brought to life.
You know, we get all this really crappy fanfic where people put, why can't we ever get one where Kurt Connors turns into Lizzo? Not that we want that either, but that would be funny. Really,
I heard that they're doing Fat Albert, but they're gonna have Lizzo in the role.
And she'll be thin.
Yes.
So it won't be Lizzo.
No, they're gonna start referring to Albert as Skinny Al.
Yeah.
What if we found out that Fat Albert had been roofing all the girls in the neighborhood?
Well, that's the thing. It's no longer sponsored by Jello. But yeah,
not that kind of Jello.
Yeah. So I gotta ask. So, Breen, you've been in the hobby for longer than both of us. Can you narrow down to even the top 5 Christmas comic books that you enjoy? Off the top of your head?
Unlike Christmas movies that I watch every year.
Yeah.
I don't really have the same thing with comics. I think I do remember it's like Batman 239 where everybody chips in to make sure that Batman doesn't have to do anything on Christmas Eve. And then they end up singing,
Silent Night.
he ends up singing carols at the end of the story, if I'm remembering that correctly. I remember that one being
that's
being pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I really don't. I mean,
like not when you read every year, but ones that you really enjoyed.
I know. Yeah, I thinking about that, I really don't have those. That would be a question for Spinner Rack Dave, because he's been collecting Christmas comics for over 30 years.
Yeah, I want to get that. I want to get that time guy, the guy who snubbed you.
Oh yeah, Leo. I'm not speaking to him.
Yeah, speaking of him.
You mean Father Time?
I mean, honestly, I'm surprised.
I'll be speaking to him soon enough.
Surprised that wasn't a topic with the fossils, because he got Spinner Rack and he got the was his name Randy or Ken?
Ken.
That guy has. He said his hobby is just collecting Christmas comics.
Well, no, that's Dave. Dave does that. Ken's not too. I thought you were talking.
Okay, yeah.
It's funny that one thing, if I could steer the fossils in a different direction on occasion,
yeah,
I would like to talk about comics sometimes, or a little bit more than we do, because I think one thing I really haven't heard many of the fossils do is
talk with books,
talk about the books themselves, storylines.
I wonder if they read them or just collect them.
No, I'm sure they do, but like, Ken, like I said, he didn't even like the Crisis. He doesn't even, he's made his feelings very clear on that. So I think he just likes to read the stories, but I don't think he's looking for any. Like I love continuing stories. I mean, you and I love the Triangle era.
Yeah.
I was just reading, and I'll be showing this because I'm going to show the books I got from my comic shop that yesterday.
Cool. And
one of them that I thought I had was the second part of the Korvac saga. Mm-hmm. And in my opinion, that's the best storyline I've ever read. To me, it's even better than Dark Phoenix, because I'm more of an Avengers and an X-Men guy.
Dark Phoenix, I'm just sick of it.
The original story is as good as anything I've ever read.
Yeah.
But I just like the Korvac saga better because, as I said, the Avengers have always been my favorite superhero team.
To me, the Dark Phoenix saga is kind of like Home Alone. Everybody just talks about it all the time. Whenever it's brought up, it's like
fair.
Originally, it was good, but then they overdid it.
Well, yeah, I don't. It's not Claremont and Burns' fault that everybody's gone back and basically, raped and pillaged and sucked every last ounce out of it. And but the original story, those eight or nine issues are incredible.
I would say it is partly Burns' fault because he was the one who brought Jean back. I think bringing her back ruined the longevity of the story.
Ash, clean out your ears. I'm the only one slurping the X-Men right now. So
yeah, and he never was. He's been this whole entire past 2 years. It's never stopped.
No. But
I was just saying. I didn't say anything bad about the actual X-Men. I just said that it's become one of those things I just can't touch anymore because
that's a fair point. Yeah. But sometimes things get talked about ad nauseum because they deserve to be.
Sure.
And like I said, if you took a poll, Dark Phoenix Saga is going to win. It put up against anything else. It is kind of accepted as the greatest storyline of all time. I'm not going to argue that. It's just my personal favorite is the Korvac Saga. And I read one of those today. And like I said, I love getting immersed in a great continuing story. I think you can tell that most of the fossils aren't the same way because, the Westerns that they love, and I've come to really appreciate, they all reset at the end of every story. All the Disney, all the the funny animals, they all there's no continuity, and that's fine. But I mean, I like a continuing story. That's why, that's what I've always appreciated about indies going back to the 80s.
And that's the thing, I'm kind of torn. I like the one standalone story, so I want to complete one issue because I don't have to worry about searching out the one issue that I can't find because whatever reason that's got a key character in it now.
Well, there's plenty of good one and dones also, but
I'm torn because I like both. I want to say hello to Mata Nui, and a Merry Christmas to you, sir. Says I got comes for Christmas. He got what did he say? Spawn Origins Volume 7 and Invincible Compendium number 2. Nice. I've read Invincible. I like that. Spawn not so much, but man, if that's what you asked for and that's what you got, that's cool.
I almost sent you a picture today, Van. Other than that chaos that is that room.
Fun on the Herbie.
You know what I have in that room? Hanging on the wall, and they're right next to each other. There's a Vampirella poster and an Invincible poster.
That's cool.
And the original manuscript of How to Make Fire, carved out in rock.
No, he's got the original tablet.
No, but I do have the Pixel starter kit. So enjoy.
I was gonna say he's got the other 5 commandments.
That's right. I've got 11 through 15 up there.
Oh no, but yeah.
When Moses dropped him, I picked it up and figured I could sell it on eBay later.
Right. E-Pray.
I had to wait for it to be invented.
Right.
Yeah.
What's going on to Ash? Hello to you, man. Great Christmas. Great to see you. And to answer your question, what I like better as far as Christmas movies, Die Hard or Lethal Weapon? I like Die Hard for more the laughter comedy. Lethal Weapon, it's more, I guess, it's not much comedy. It's storytelling, I guess. Shane Black wrote the Lethal Weapon story. I mean, I don't know. It's like I like them for different reasons, but I also like, but it flip flops sometimes too. But I like them both. They're kind of equally. Hey, Yule, what's up, bro? Merry Christmas.
Yule.
What's up, man? Let me know if you guys want to jump in. We're just kind of chilling here and hanging out, just talking about just Christmas comics, really, and anything, whatever comes to your mind. Yeah, I don't know. It's like as I get older, like you're saying, like you're getting more into Walt Disney. I'm getting more into the back issue, just Christmas comic books in general. It's just something that I find interesting because it's Christmas and you really don't see a lot of those. I mean, I personally I grew up in the late 80s, early 90s. That was my childhood. So by the time I got into comic books, it was 2003, 2004. And so I never got the chance to experience a lot of those Christmas comic books, like you guys did growing up in the 70s, and the 80s stuff.
Yeah, we've still had a decent amount. Yeah, like Marvel, the Treasury editions, they would do a holiday grab bag, for like 2 or 3 years. DC reprinted the Rudolph stories in tabloid form, and
Four Color Fossils was still going, right? The Dallas, the Four Color Fossils.
Four Color Fossils. Yeah.
Sorry.
No. By that time, but where I was going with that is, prior to that, in the 50s and 60s, Christmas comics were everywhere. And they just kind of started
fading out. Really.
In the 70s, they got there less. In the 80s, even less. And now it's just it's.
Do you think that had to do with people losing their morals? Morality was kind of going down, as far as less people believing in God. So the kind of culture was shifting.
I don't know.
Or I think it was because kids were interested in Christmas comics.
It's probably a little bit of all of that.
Also, there was they were doing more of the periodical, like one issue leading to the other, so they didn't want to interrupt the stories.
What's up, Angleteen? Notification. Do you mean Twitter notifications? As I put a message in Twitter. So
Or Twiddle's notification. He's like, "Yo, fat man,
yeah.
they're doing a video."
He flies in
Tweet,
like a
tweet.
little memo. Beep, beep. Ah,
Yeah, I think around the 70s that had something to do with it because it became like those every story, like they became one story goes into another episodic, so they couldn't like
yeah.
discontinue a ongoing story. And they then realized they could do like a Christmas special single issue special comic and get more money that way.
And there are also a lot less anthology titles because you could tuck a Christmas issue into Walt Disney Comics and Stories without interrupting anything. You know, it just as an example, but there really aren't as much because Black Cat's right. When you did get into more story arcs, yeah, it's hard to just we interrupt our regularly scheduled storyline for a very special Christmas issue.
True. I like this. As I said, the specials were a great way to do it, But like I like the fact that like what they did with Superman, actually Comics 462, that was just kind of added in there. They didn't really interrupt it because it was just that time of the year they were trying to do. It wasn't called a Christmas story, but it took place during Christmas, and Roger Stern wrote that. Roger Stern, who basically the kid who collected Spider-Man, also did that too. Honestly, that guy should just write a whole bunch of Christmas stuff. That would have been fun. Just collect all his stuff together, put it in one annual. But probably he's got Marvel and DC, so the licensing rights. But that'd be kind of cool just to have that on a trade. Like this is Roger Stern, what he's written, But what's up, Gore Man? He says, no interest in Christmas comics, even in the late 70s and in the early 80s. I went to Catholic school, didn't need any more claws in my life. Rather, read more adventures, comics, and magazines like Warren. Warren. They would have had a Warren magazine, Vampirella, like a Christmas comic. That'd be cool. Like a Christmas.
I'm trying to remember. Other than those Treasury editions, I'm kind of like, I didn't cringe when I saw them, but I wasn't particularly interested in them myself. But
sure,
the older I get, the more sentimental I guess for things like that. And
we have limited patience, limited, we're when we were younger, you kind of want I don't want the boring stuff. Now we're the adults. Now we're more educated, more wiser. Now we realize, hey, the stuff that we didn't like before is actually kind of important. It's just that we didn't, we're just too, I guess, immature to realize that. But some of us are still learning, but I don't know. Even if it's Christmas decorations should be shown if it takes place at winter before this holiday. I'm not sure what that's replying to. Have you seen What If season 2 at all? Good or bad? I didn't even watch the first one. Honestly, I think I watched one episode, and that was the Doctor Strange one. Other than that, I just have no care for the What If. I'd rather go read the actual What Ifs comics.
I'll just go read a couple issues of the original series instead.
Yeah, I think those are more fun. There's a lot of books that Marvel put out in DC I haven't read. So anything you see on the Geeky Puppet Show we're reading, those are first-time readings for me. A lot of those, unless it's Spider-Man. And I gotta say, I enjoy reading them with everybody else versus reading by myself. It's kind of like that community, kind of like I guess memories you create with people. As I said, I normally don't go on my way to go read older books by myself. Marnie says, I believe when they started having horror scary movies on Christmas that were themed as Christmas horror movies, that was the start of the demise of having proper Christmas comic books. Maybe. I don't know either way, but I've never been into horror as far when it comes to just butchering and like the slasher movies. Wasn't really a big fan of that. No, I'm more of a fantasy happy ending because real life sucks. So give me like the good Hey, because it's everybody dreams about, having a good, happy life. If I want to see someone, hear about murder, I'll just turn on the news, man. I live between Chicago and Milwaukee. There's always people getting killed every single day here. So I want the happy stuff. But getting back to Christmas comic books, yeah, I just like if you look on the Geek and Pop Show, I posted that speech from
Bud Collier.
Bud Collier, that's what it was. Yeah, he's such a weird last name, Collier.
Well, I think he spells it with a Y, doesn't he, instead of an IER?
It's YER at the end. Yeah. Collier. His speech from Christmas Day, 1945. I thought that was really interesting because it's been a while since I've heard anybody say anything like that. I think the last person, as far as speaking, basically speaking of the fact that good. We should all Christmas doesn't have to be one day. You can practice Christmas every day. Being good to every man, whether your race, religion, gender, it doesn't make a difference. We're all in together because it was post-war, basically saying we need to get along with everybody in our country now.
Yeah,
and honestly, unity. Superman speaking about unity, the voice of Superman. And I learned that guy actually voiced Superman about 2,000 different times, not only on the radio show, but also in the cartoons. I don't know if he was in the Fleischman cartoons or the cartoons before. There was cartoons before Fleischman.
No, those were the first.
Or not Fleischman. Is it Fleischman or is it
Fleischer?
Fleischer, that's okay. Sorry, Fleischman's the vodka. I always get those two.
I thought it was the margarine.
No, there's a Fleischman vodka here too. So I always get those yeah, okay. But I was reading up about that. But I thought that was so interesting because I've never heard that speech before. I was just kind of looking up Superman, Christmas stuff, and I came across that, and I was like, oh, that's really cool. So whenever I find that stuff, I really love to share it. I share it on Instagram, on Twitter, and then on through their YouTube page.
Now I have to ask you, have you seen those Fleischer Superman cartoons?
I've seen about at least one of them. I think one that has the robots.
Okay, I cannot recommend them higher. Those are now granted, animation was different back then. I mean, it was there were. I mean, they were like 12 frames per second. Modern cartoons, I think, cut it down to like 2. So I mean, it's just they're beautiful, and they're just. I think it's the best cartoon series I've ever seen.
It really captures the early Silver Age stuff, or actually not even Golden Age.
It was 1941.
Yeah, it's right. Yeah, I keep thinking they're like later, but no, yeah, those were taken directly from the comic books, or actually not just comic books, but they were inspired by the comic books today because those were actually new stories. Those weren't just retold into animation like they do with the current DC movies. They just kind of change it or the MCU, and it was straight up to the point. It was a more Superman is the good guy. There's the bad guy. He's got to save Lois, and then Superman is just the Boy Scout. Even with the villain, he's not going to condemn the villain.
And somebody, Gore or Moran, you can probably talk. I think Lois was patterned after Veronica Lake because I think they gave her the peekaboo hairstyle, just not blonde. But I mean, like I said, it's. Trust me, you will thank me. Anybody that's listening, check it out. You can. They're available on DVD or on Blu-ray now as a set, and it's just like I said. Oh wow, Kimmy Checks is at the game. Sorry,
Ash. Sorry.
Whoa.
What?
It's Asham.
Wrestling reference.
Asham.
I don't get the wrestling references.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas, Ash. It's Venkman and I. We're just as long as we amuse each other. That's pretty much all we're into now.
There's a guy. Basically, he hurt his neck. Supposedly hurt his neck, and then he's got 2 buddies. He's in a wheelchair. And he wears a neck brace, and he's always screaming for people. He's like, Adam. He's like just real loud, and he's like when he gets an interview, that's what else. Renee.
It's so obnoxious,
stupid. It got over.
It got over. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. He's neck strong, so I think
That's
he
right.
wears the neck brace. So they're always talking about it's like the next days of Christmas. He's like, we're not celebrating Christmas, we're celebrating Nextmas. It's so stupid, but if it's funny though, it's not innocent fun. But what is going on, Ash?
Not much. My ears were burning. I was driving home. My ears are burning, and I popped up a YouTube, and sure enough, there's Eric saying bad things about my ex.
He did it though.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he
I was
did.
the
I
one
did
that
not.
He did. He said Avengers was better than X-Men.
I said I liked
I
it
heard
better.
You liked
Take
it
it
better.
back.
But he liked
Don't make me turn on you, you assum.
Actually, I also wanted to come in and say I kind of agree with Eric. I think Dark Phoenix is one of the most overrated.
Oh, I said
storyline.
that.
It's a good storyline, but I think it's taken to the highest levels that it doesn't quite deserve. It's like it's really good, but it's not like I don't even think it's an. I think there's probably 5 X-Men storylines that I like better than Dark Phoenix.
And I feel like Hollywood just only knows Dark Phoenix.
Yeah,
Yes, Hollywood
I'll
only
tell
knows that.
You're more of an X-Men aficionado than I am, but
He's an X aficionado.
The Dark Phoenix saga. Now maybe also it's because I read it off the rack.
Oh, I mean it's good, no doubt about it.
Maybe and coupled with the Burns' art was never better than at that time. So the whole package.
It's absolutely a great story.
It's
it
still my
deserves to
favorite
be
X-Men storyline.
Sure, it deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. I think that some people, it's kind of like The Godfather. It's like I think oftentimes people who don't really know comics that well just turn to the thing they know, like people who don't know movies. Like, what's the best movie ever made? Oh, Godfather, because that's what everyone else seems to say, but they don't actually know. Dark Phoenix seems to be like that too. Godfather's a great movie, legitimately is, but there are other great movies too, and so I haven't read Korvac Saga. It would not surprise me if it were better.
Is Korvac the one where with Carol?
I don't think you would think it is better because, like I said, I put it up there because the Avengers were always my favorite superhero team. Because you got to remember again, when I started, the X-Men were barely an afterthought.
Yeah,
I mean, they were.
I gotta ask though. I always get confused with the one with Carol gives birth to her own son.
No. That's 20-something issues after.
What is that? Is that called something?
No, it's called. Again, it's funny that Ash brings up
the Forgotten Saga.
Okay, but people
Avengers issue 200.
Okay, I'm not saying it was any piece of comic achievement, but two things that people that have a passing interest in this is kind of to what Ash says about Dark Phoenix Saga. The same people that say that X-Men or Avengers 200 is the worst thing ever written. All they know about Hank Pym was that he punched Jan, then got her on the ground and kept punching her until she was like primordial ooze, and because it's been blown so freaking out of proportion,
right?
Yeah.
And Gore Vidal in the chat makes a really eloquent point about it. Like he says, the Claremont Byrne run in X-Men is foundational. Every creator since is built on it, just as in Miller's Daredevil and Vertical's Hellblazer. That's a really good point. I think a lot of the credit to Dark Phoenix Saga goes is because a lot of what it was doing had not really been done in superhero comics. So it kind of established something. It set a new bar. I just happen to think that since then the bar has even raised, but at the time it definitely deserves credit, and it's definitely anyone who says like, oh, it's one of my favorite X-Men stories, I say, sure, I understand why. I understand why Hollywood's remade it 15 times. I just think that there are even better X-Men stories, and I feel like they don't get credit because people don't actually know about them, because most people don't actually read comics. And they just happen to go, what's the one they made the movie about? Yeah, that's the best saga. It's like, okay, whatever.
When God Loves Man Kills. What is that one?
You're pointing out
that is just.
So you're pointing out that we did
story. I mean, it's okay story. It's a pretentious, like it. God Loves Man Kills was written to be highbrow. And when you read it,
where
especially
it's
at the
where-
time, you're like, oh, look at this.
It was
This
written
is
to be.
sophisticated literature now.
It was written to be an out of continuity, one-time thing to show it could be done, and it has since been again. That's another corpse that's been.
Well, that's one of the
raped.
ones. That's the one I keep hearing. I keep hearing that. I want to hear the Dark Phoenix saga, the Korvac saga. God loves Man
God
Kills.
Loves Man Kills is the version where what's his face, like the MLK and the other. What's the other guy?
Malcolm X.
Yeah, Magneto and Charles became MLK and Malcolm X.
Oh, okay.
That it's where that thing came from, and it's where Kitty Pryde says the N-word.
We will. Mariah.
Yeah, it was the very strong
So-
racist analogy that told the
All
story,
right.
and it's sort of the foundation of where I don't want to turn the stream around, but like where the SJWs have like latched onto the X-Men. It's like it's a metaphor for race. Like that was the book that really cemented it in their heads.
No, they actually hate it because of that one panel where Kitty says one thing.
All right. I want to point out that Gil Carter was agreeing with Ash, saying that it's crazy. Dark Phoenix starts at 101. It's way more complex than the Avengers. Also, Computer Robots got a question I've asked this. It says, who do you think is the love of Batman's life? The love of Superman's life? The love of Wonder Woman's life? And basically, they want to know what, I guess his question is. This is a three-part question. Batman's being Batman, that's the love of his life. It's Superman is Lois. Wonder Woman is Steve Trevor. I think it was Byrne that tried to ship them, wasn't it?
Who?
Wonder Woman and Superman, or no?
No, that was not meant. Again, that was just kind of like an
Okay.
exploratory thing for Action Comics 600.
Okay.
I
thought it was Miller that put Wonder Woman and Superman together.
No,
Is that wrong?
Or was that
when did he do that?
They have a new
Dark
52.
Knight, his Dark Knight saga.
Returns.
Which was in the first one?
Yeah. No, I think it was they implied it and they had it in the second one. Definitely.
Okay, because I mean, they flirted in the Silver Age, but they kind of before Lois and Clark got together. I think Superman and Wonder Woman kind of toyed with the idea post-crisis, but then it didn't go anywhere.
Well, I remember like in my first inkling of this, when I saw it was in the Justice League cartoon, like Bruce and Diana were kind of like she was flirting with him and kind of flirt back. But other than that, New 52 is where they actually showed them ship together.
No, that was Superman. Like Batman and after the
Superman and was
in the
New
cartoons
52.
they had them flirt. I think in what was that saga where they ended up in the past.
But
where Nightwing took over the Justice League for a while, and then the main Justice League were trapped in time. I forgot what saga.
Hey, what's up, Drew? This is before Lois. Clark fell in love with Lori Lomaris and Alana Lang. He fell in love with a lot of people, but Lois is his true love. It's like I said, for Batman, I don't think it's Selena. I don't think it's whoever. I think Batman. I mean, one could say it was Silver St. Cloud. But they realized that Batman needs to be devoted to being Batman.
I think the writers that can make it work nearly made it work, but then people come up and fuck it up later on.
Well,
because
they realized
with Talia, with Talia, as long as Denny O'Neil was there, she was a good character. Like after Denny left, Mike W. Barr had it well for a while, but then it just crashed and burned.
I just feel that Bruce shouldn't be a relationship. I said Bruce should just be what it is. He made a vow, and that's it. He's the opposite of Superman, so he would be single, right?
No,
I don't know if I think Bruce should make a vow, but I do like the idea that he shouldn't be in a serious relationship. I think Bruce should be in like always broken relationships, because in my view, Bruce is married to Gotham.
Yes.
And a woman is always going to come second. And so no matter what relationship he gets in, it's always doomed for failure because of that. But I don't think that there's not room to try to write these stories. I think you could do this where like Bruce tries to have something that falls apart because he can't leave being Batman is
Well,
like his true identity.
Well,
He
that-
can
and that's-
never just be Bruce Wayne.
That was St. Cloud. They had her like she was going to he was going to marry her and stuff, and then she gets killed.
And real quick, I just want to say, Gore Vidal, I think, is like a twin from that I never knew about. I just want to echo what he says about Paul Smith's brief X-Men run, and the Claremont Frank Miller Wolverine miniseries humanized Logan and made him interesting and popular. 100% agree. That's the Wolverine that I like. That was what made Wolverine my favorite Marvel character. I wish they could go back to that. Marvel just does not understand Wolverine anymore. But thank you for saying that. Anyways,
well,
continue on,
Gore is really smart. He hangs out in some other streams I've been on. I'm not sure why he's here.
He saw I was live. That's why.
Yeah, maybe he knew Ash was coming on.
I know, but Drew is asking. I thought Bruce was love was with Selena Kyle. I am torn on that. Like, there is the Earth 2 version where they actually did get married.
Yeah, like they can do it well, but they gave it to Tom King. That's the problem.
Well, that's the thing. It's like Tom King was, I guess, the only one that wanted to bring it back. I mean, James. I don't think James Tynion was doing it at all, was he?
Nah, because Tynion's run was Tynion put them on a break in his Batman run and his Detective run. It was more focused on the other characters.
But Selena, I guess Selena is the most compatible, though. I would say.
Yeah, because one of the things is that they both actually, one was good for Gotham, and Selena knows, like, both Selena and Talia know, like, they can they're always going to be taking the back seat to the mission.
Well, Talia, I guess Talia was always.
I don't think so.
League of Shadows, she's following her foot. She was always torn between her father and Bruce, and she always chose her father over Bruce.
Right.
No, not always. Like, she was always like torn, and that time where she actually saved Bruce from the scorpion sting with the famous cover where he's wearing pants, but where Rage is holding up his pants.
No. But
and the Catwoman. See, I think Catwoman is Bruce's true love. But it's a tale of tragedy that they can never be together because, as I said, Bruce is married to Gotham, and Catwoman is fundamentally broken. She's never going to leave a life of crime, and so
she's left the life of crime in the 2000s.
No, she's just because bad writers try to write her as some sort of anti-hero. She's not. She's real Catwoman.
Dude, she's been an anti-hero since Miller. Miller made her an anti-hero. Your Lord and Savior made her an anti-hero.
Yep.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, she hasn't been a villain since the 80s.
She's never been a super villain, but she's I shouldn't say villain. She's a criminal.
She's a criminal.
That's what I should be saying. I'm saying the wrong thing.
Says she does heists, but she does it sometimes for selfish reasons. Sometimes for good reasons. Like, most of her thing is
she's not a Robin Hood, and when they try to write her that way, it's stupid.
Not not like help the poor. Like, someone's been taken hostage and she has to break in, do this, do that.
She is fundamentally a thief. She hates the system. She shouldn't hate men, but she has problems with men.
She has
Bruce is the only beast, the only man that could sort of tame her, but not 100% completely. And because Batman is so fundamentally opposed to crime, it makes them incompatible. Also, the fact that he can't devote himself. So it's this relationship where they have absolute chemistry. They both have it for each other. There's no other better partner, but because of their nature, they can't be. That's what I'm saying. And I think that when you break that's what Tom King tried to do, is be like, oh, look, Bruce can settle down. They go on trips in Europe. And it's like, that's not Batman anymore. And when you try to domesticate Selena Kyle, you're like, that's not Catwoman anymore. What am I reading?
I would say, well, I mean, Tom King was doing the future version where they got in the future. Like, we're at the point where he's retired. He can't physically do it. I could see them two getting together and, like, but I mean, like.
No, that's when they're retired and they physically can't do it anymore, is when we revealed that she's been sleeping with Joker, remember?
Were they? I don't remember them being revealed that she was sleeping with Joker.
The bat and the cat. You didn't.
No, that was just Tom King being Tom King.
But I don't remember that. No, I don't remember them sleeping together.
That's the future story that he wrote, and we can dismiss it because it's Tom King. But
they were not sleeping together. Tom
No.
just
Well, they had slept together in the past or whatever.
They they implied it just so Tom King could get those clicks that he loves so much.
Okay, well, you can defend that.
Hey, what's up, Undead? What's up, Joe? Merry Christmas to both you guys. Anyone else who's watching and not commenting? Merry Christmas. What do I see here? Of course, saying Natalia and her father's strained relationship is something like you'd read in ancient Rome history. Like, she's so devoted to him, to the point where she feels like she can't betray him, and he basically in her mind, she's all he has.
See, that's what I was talking about.
That ended in the 2000s.
Like, she was groomed pretty much.
See, that's what I was talking about how, that's a very intellectual post. I'm going to explain Batman, the cover of Batman 244. Batman is a golfer. Do you know why golfers wear 2 pair of pants?
So don't hit your balls.
In case they get a hole in one.
Oh,
that's an old dad joke from pre-frugal times.
Wow. Now you do 2 more jokes, Frugal's going to show up.
No, he won't.
Dad, he's going to say, stop stealing my shit.
If he does, I hope he brings that cool sound effect machine he has.
Yeah. This goes. He needs a smoke. One of those machines.
Madanui says, "Why Joker of all people?" Referring to Selina's risque affair. My theory on this is that Tom King is a broken guy. You can tell it the way he writes, and he kind of writes all of his books like therapy. So my theory, this is purely theory, don't know anything, is that Tom King was hurt by the woman he loves, who maybe either cheated on him with the person he hates the most, or his best friend, or something of that nature, and that he's just writing what he knows. And it's like, how does a woman scorn get back at the man that will never be with her?
You mean like
you go with you'd be with her best and your biggest enemy instead.
Oh, Tom King's walked in on his wife with another man.
That's kind of how I feel like Teenie Howard's Catwoman. She's kind of like trying to make Batman a cuck in her book, Detective Comics. Or no, sorry, Catwoman. Even though it feels like she's basically writing a main Batman book, even though it's Catwoman. But yeah, I never the whole Valmont, whatever the guy's name was, and she sleep with him. But I love Bruce. I'm like, no, you don't.
That's because Teenie Howard, her only understanding of Catwoman is from the 2000, not the 2000 Batman Returns.
Another self-insert crap. Says Venkman, Eric, Ash. I don't know about you guys, but I also always saw some parallels between Catwoman and the Flash Rogues. Not evil, but always petty crime to better themselves.
The Silver and Bronze Age version, well, certainly the Silver Age version of the Rogues, they were roguish, but a couple of them I think have graduated into homicidal tendencies as the years have worn on. And some of them, a couple of them reformed for a while.
Prayer
in the Wally West series.
Prayer sent out that Quinn. He said he got a whole bunch of Dan Slott Spider-Man. Hopes he get rid of it for Christmas. But he said he got a whole set of Kick-Ass. So now, which Kick-Ass is it? The girl or the original one? Yeah.
I want to agree with MK. I think that's well said. What you said, I would 100%. I think Catwoman is more of a rogue. When I said villain, that was just a sloppy use of the word. I think she's more of a rogue.
Yeah, but she hasn't been a rogue since then. Like I said, the 90s series or something.
Whatever. We can now say that insist that Wally West is forever a mass murderer. Just because bad people take character. I'm sorry. I'm getting emotional. Sorry.
Yeah, but the Wally West.
I would say that just because bad writers take characters.
Yeah, they retconned the Wally West thing. They did not retcon this out. Let
me finish. Jeez. Just because bad writers take characters in fundamentally bad directions doesn't mean that's the way that it is now. I'm sticking with the foundational aspects of the character. And you're right. The continuity has changed. But I just choose to ignore it because they've gone off the reservation. That's not Catwoman. Just like Harley Quinn is not Harley Quinn. run around the Justice League. Look at me. Woo, I'm saving the day. You're not Harley Quinn. Whatever you are, you're nonsense.
All right, so you want to dismiss both Frank Miller's work on it, Ed Brubaker's work on her, and
No.
Dixon's work on her, because they all wrote her as they chose to take her away from the villain or the rogue and make her an anti-hero, and then somewhat of a redeemed hero. So unless you want to toss out, say,
I don't
Ed
know what
Brubaker's
Frank
a
Miller book. I've read every Frank Miller. He wrote a handful of Batman books.
All right.
And in nowhere did Frank Miller fundamentally change Catwoman.
He basically gave the script to someone who wrote it, but it was Frank Miller's script. Like, I think
you talking about the miniseries?
Yeah, it's the 4-issue Catwoman miniseries. That was Frank Miller's main idea, but someone else wrote the dialogue and everything. And then there was basically the Dixon run, the Joe Duffy run, where she became less of a villain, more of a character that does some things like Punisher or Deadpool. And then what I think it was Darwin Cook and who was that? Ed Brubaker run, where she did completely change to become a reformed person.
All right, I'm gonna make one rebuttal. In the most recent, the very recent James Tynion run, Tynion had Catwoman completely betray Bruce Wayne and have him lose his entire fortune and sold him out. She is if we're gonna do that, then I'm gonna elevate her to pure villain.
Yeah. Based off of that run, current version, but yeah, like I said, it's choose your canon. They keep retconning everything.
I'm gonna go with the canon that was around for most of the good years of DC, which was the 80s and the 90s and early 2000s instead of.
You mean post crisis?
Yes.
Yes.
It also kind of comes with the character having their own title. Most throughout comics history, you don't see a lot of examples of sustained comic book series starring straight up villains.
Right. It's kind of like the Venom. Venom is a really great example of that, where he was an awesome villain. It's like, we need his own book. Okay,
all right. Wait. Deathstroke. When they repurposed him in the early 90s as a Punisher type character, then they had him during the Infinite Crisis. He went back to straight up murder, and then he got his own title again a few years later. And what do you know? Then he went back to straight up murder again. Oh, here's Deathstroke Inc. He says, I'm going to swear off murder and mentor a bunch of kids. Sign my kids up now. I think they'd be safer with Lindsey Graham.
So Gore's saying my favorite Brubaker Catwoman moments are when Selena and Robert Mitchum, investigator, have generational disagreements. I guess Matt Wagner.
That is Slam Bradley.
No, Slam.
Because either Slam Bradley or his son knocked her up in that series.
Basically, it was Sam Bradley's Jr., his son. Originally, it was Bruce Wayne. They were going to make Helena Wayne canon to Earth 1, but then Didio decided to get cold feet.
Yeah.
They basically May Parkered the kid, right?
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Joe was agreeing with you.
First, they changed who the parent was, and then they gave her up for adoption, and Zatanna wiped everyone's memories of her existing. But she's alive. May Parker has been sacrificed to Mephisto. She is living somewhere, has no idea who she is.
So, looking at the comments here, Joe is saying that it's like wrestling. Heels are so popular that they make him face. They get over.
Everybody likes a good redemption arc.
Yeah. MJF, he was a heel, and then he became a face. But even the ones that say the heels, Britt Baker was over in wrestling because she was a heel the whole entire time, but she got over. It's the same way comic books. You got the heroes and the villains, the face and the heels. People love the villains. People love Darkseid. People love Joker. You shouldn't, because he's some evil. They're both evil people, but people like them. They think they're cool. Like I said, I like the fact when you have a villain like the far as like the Joker, who basically
If
is
this were
like,
a reading,
yeah.
Welcome to hour
Number
number 2.
Yay! But yeah, for every good hero, you have to have a compelling villain. So when it comes, like, when we got to the Killing Joke, and just that, it just showed you just how disgusting Joker is, and you kind of appreciate the fact that you actually have a villain like that in a comic book. Because I hate when it's just like a happy good feel story sometimes when there's no really sense of dread. Like, oh, he's a villain. Oh, what'd he do? Oh, he stole Hostess pies. It's like, when they had like the code stuff.
Is there a worse crime? You get a big delight in every bite.
Yeah, when you steal the Hostess pies, you leave the nasty chocolate or the lime puddings left.
Oh God, do you remember chocolate fruit pies?
Yeah,
Those are actually kind of like those.
the vanilla ones I like though.
I never had those.
Wait, did you say chocolate fruit pies?
Well, the Hostess pies are chocolate pudding pies, or same thing.
Oh, I was gonna say, like, was there a different pie that I wasn't aware of?
No. It's again, to borrow one of your things, poor choice of words, whatever. The Hostess pies, they were chocolate. It's just everything else is fruit, so you just kind of just used to saying fruit pie.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
It's kind of like rocket surgery.
Yeah, I got the Hostess pies. I said that when it was the early '90s, late '80s, when they used to have the Ninja Turtle show was on. It was very popular on TV, and they took all the pies, the lemon, the orange, and all stuff, and they took the pies and made them green.
Do you remember when Hostess fruit pies were bigger than a Totino's pizza roll?
Yeah.
What?
Yep. Yeah, because right now they're the size of a pizza roll.
They're not much bigger.
Yeah,
And they're $3.
How is it that all that snack food shit keeps getting smaller and America keeps getting larger?
I don't know, man.
Well, you got to eat more of them when they get smaller.
And apparently we do.
Since MK is saying, since DC keeps saying everything is canon, I consider every story its own universe or timeline if it happened. Speaking of which, what Marvel's doing with the multiverse and Wolverine?
Can I just say real quick? We bought some recent DC back issues off of one of our longtime customers, and we got them for like nothing. So I said I'm just gonna discount them all. But it was like 30 issues of Catwoman. Unfortunately, like 20 something. Teeny Howard's been on here for a long time now. A bunch of Harley Quinns, Tim Drake, Robin. It's like, you don't realize just how much absolute utter garbage they're putting out until you see them all like lumped together in one box. That was just oh. I feel sorry for anybody still reading DC more than like a book here and there.
I don't know about you, Eric, but the shop that I go to it's pretty big. It's a pretty big facility, and it has a wall. It has a small little wall where the new books of the week comes out, and then right next to it is another wall that's about 6 times at least as big. Like, it's just really long. And there's probably, I think it's 5 or 6 rows high. However tall you can stack comics for like a 6-foot guy, and like the top shelf I have to reach up for. And it's probably 50 comics wide. Like, there's hundreds of books on this shelf. And so when I go in and I just peruse that, it just makes it so apparent where I'm just like, man, all of this is like finding the good comic is like the needle in the haystack. You're just like trash. Like, just.
I want to point out something, because there are good books. But they're not all at the same time. They're kind of peppered each week. And
the problem is there's so many bad books that drowns them out.
Yeah, so this has been fun. Mark Wade's a dick, but you can't deny that the book has actually been really good.
Oh, I was gonna say you can't deny he is a dick.
Yeah, I said yeah, you can't deny. Yeah. This has been awesome. and say Superman. I don't lightly say that Superman's awesome because I hated the Phil Kennedy Johnson run. Or this one's just been great.
Yeah,
Josh
Superman is one of the few books you're like really critical about. I like it.
Because I like the post-crisis version. I really didn't care for let's change everything back to where it's all about him being a Kryptonian. I don't give a shit about that. It's been done.
Sure.
There's Silver Age.
That book that you're holding.
Yeah.
There are new things being done with two characters that have been around for 80 plus years. That's not easy to do. Now, granted, with Superman, he's lost his memory and he thinks he's a train robber, but that's kind of neat to see because
it's gonna have to drop out and come back very soon. Like I need to restart my PC.
All right, cool.
See when you come back.
Yeah,
and
is Jamal Campbell still doing the art in that book?
Yep. Or actually, no, not this issue.
I think he's catching up.
He took a break.
Okay,
but this is some guy.
That's a really good reason to buy the book too.
I mean, this guy's not bad either. I mean, this is good art.
Well,
you know how critical I am of art.
Well, as long as he's not off the book, like I can tolerate a fill-in artist.
But yeah, and I know that a lot of people don't agree, but I like seeing something new, legitimately new, being done with Lex. I said it's something new, and I'm still reading this.
My frustration with Lex, though, is if I feel like they can never stick with one thing on Lex for very long. I feel like he changes so like every year. It's like a whole new Lex. Or like, come on,
right?
I was actually really getting into Apex Predator Lex. I was like, oh, this is new. And then they did away with that like in less than a year.
But this version of him, where I think they're really trying to make him a character that can actually, live, out amongst people because he's not wanted for 1,000 crimes.
Yeah.
Because they brought in his mom, they brought in his daughter, who I admit is a cliche. Hopefully she'll grow, but it's something different. It's not. This isn't a ruse where he's like, I'm going to make everybody think I've reformed and I'm going to hatch my master plan.
I want to point out there's still crap at DC. Look at my right. That's supposed to be Static Shock on the right.
Crap at DC.
And that is not Static Shock. That's a woman. Sorry. So.
Well, what is a woman?
That's wominx.
Someone gets mad when you mansplain.
Oh.
But the Jeremy Adams book here, this has been just awesome. We're getting JSA. Alan Scott's not gay. They don't even address his sexuality in this whatsoever. It's just in the past. Man, it's just overall just fun. We get another villain revealed, Dr. Elemental.
So that box that I was just talking about.
Yeah,
I think this guy buys all the DCs and just turned in the crap. None of the books you just showed were in that box. None of those titles.
Really?
No, because they're worth keeping.
Mm.
I mean, he sold books to us that box probably was about $800 worth of books.
Yeah.
Off the shelf within the last couple of years. I think we gave him $50 for them, and he was happy to get it because that's how just valueless they are.
I mean, I said I know Ash, you're not a big legacy person, but I gotta say I actually do like the fact that seeing Jay as a father and dealing with his daughter, and she's not a Mary Sue. She has her issues. He's very overprotective, and then she kind of like, I can do my own thing. She's actually like a normal kid. She kind of butts heads with him. But eventually, she does. By talking to other girls, she realizes, she has that DJ Tanner moment when she talks to Uncle Jesse or something.
I like that, and I see the value, and I see the value, and I like that. Yeah. I just wish you could do it and not make her a Flash clone. Can she be something else? Can she be anything else besides a Flash? and
Wow.
still have all those same issues and everything.
The problem is though, because she's daughter of Jay Garrick, so she inherited his speed.
Well, that's because DC decided to write that
They brought back
meta power, whatever you call them at DC, inherit powers.
So they brought back Mr. Terrific's son, and there's Quiz Kid, and yeah, it's just I kind of like the fact that they're bringing back some other characters that were kind of ignored. But so my thoughts is they're gonna do a JSA or young JSA book, and I hope Jeremy Adams is the one that gets to write it.
Well, as what's her name? What's the girl's name?
Judy or Courtney?
No, the Flash's kid.
Judy.
Yeah, what's her code name?
Here comes the boom.
I say you know it's all about the boom.
Adam Cole, baby. No, but like I said,
Adam.
This has been a book that I don't care about Godzilla or Kong, but it's written the way they write it is like the original Justice League stuff. They're all on different, like they split up. They go to different parts of the world to fight these monsters. It's not just Godzilla and Kong. It's all of them.
I saw on Twitter today where the Dodgers signed Godzilla today.
Yeah. So.
Oh,
Adam Smasher goes against Godzilla.
Well, you know why? Ash, I know you don't follow baseball close, but you know the Dodgers have spent over $1 billion on 2 Japanese players in the last month.
Jeez.
So why not sign Godzilla?
You get to see Supergirl basically giving a smack to King Kong and telling him to simmer down.
$1 billion.
Right.
Ask one guy makes more money now than 5 owners are worth.
Yeah, Green Arrow. Yeah, Green Arrow's over on Monster Island. He's like, yeah, I'm done reconning. Someone come get me. He doesn't want to get just killed. They're all different parts. Hal's over with Barry over by I think it's Blackgate, and they're being attacked by this Cthulhu monster. Like, and then Donna Troy's getting a lot of spotlight. She's hanging out with Wonder Woman, and they're trying to stop this giant woolly mammoth from attacking Themyscira. But it's literally written like those old JLA stories where they split up in pairs of 2 and they go to fight the different villains.
Yeah, it doesn't need to have any plot. It's just fun. There's
and that's the whole point.
Throwing all the characters. That's what I'm liking about Batman, Santa Claus.
Yeah,
it's just like a character stew.
So,
I do think it's a little funny though. It's like, okay, we got these monsters. They're all over the globe. We got to split up. All right, Superman, you go take out this guy. Supergirl, you go over here. Wonder Woman, over there. Hey, Green Arrow, you think you can handle one by yourself?
Okay, well, this is a callback to the Silver Age, because that's how every Justice League issue went.
So.
Yeah, but you're not fighting Godzilla.
At the end of the story, hang on, Vic. Let me at the last issue, they'll probably all come together, because at the end of all those Justice Leagues, they'd all come together and basically one punch the bad guys. Yeah. That's probably what's going to happen here.
So I want to point out though is that Oliver Queen was originally paired with Wonder Woman, but I think he's like, and he basically Oliver said, you know what? Don't worry about me. I can handle, because he's going to the one island, Monster Island. That's the one that's island mysteriously popped up. He was going to basically do some recon. All of a sudden he runs into that giant monster, and then the crab monster, and then all of a sudden King Kong comes out of nowhere, and he's kind of like, hey guys, yeah, I'm in over my head. Can you help me out? So Supergirl was originally had to go back from the other side of the planet, go help him out. Superman is pretty much TKO right now. We don't know if he's dead or, but him and Adam Smasher are taken out by Godzilla, which makes sense because this is his first time meeting Godzilla. He gets hit by the nuclear blast, so he's kind of like knocked out.
Well, what they need to do is send Green Arrow in as backup, and then it'll be fine.
By the way, Vegman, did you see episode 4 yet?
I did.
Of Reacher,
the best show ever.
How hard did you laugh when O'Donnell said, well, he probably doesn't want to come up against 3 pissed off ex-soldiers and a kaiju.
Yeah.
that might be the best laugh I've gotten so far. That or this, the Sarah Connor thing, but
Yeah.
or just and did you cheer when the guy tapped on the window and you saw who it was? When it was Finley?
Yeah, Finley. Yeah, he's like, yeah. Comes in, you see him. He's like, hey, what's up?
Did you catch when he goes, I'm looking good, Neely. Mind your business, elbow patches.
Yeah, because he's like, hey, because Neely wanted to team up with him. He's like, he's already got a team. I don't need you.
I love that show. I can't wait for Thursday night.
Yeah, it's another thing. It's another thing I'm torn on because the dude playing at Reacher is a total ass, just like Mark Waid is, in his. But what they're involved with is great.
I remember when he went off when he had like an SJW hissy fit.
Yeah.
Never heard anything before. Haven't heard anything after.
No.
I'm wondering if he wasn't put up to that. So I said, I'm just choosing to say that maybe he was doing that for some reason, but
virtue signal.
But Mark Waid just can't stop.
Well, the thing is that the guy who plays Alan Rickson was at the time when he did that, when Twitter was going to take over by what's his name, Elon Musk. He was still on the Titan show. He hadn't got the Reacher program. So now he's got Reacher. He probably changed. He's like, I don't need the virtue signal anymore because I got the big.
I don't know. Maybe I just like I said, it's.
I
hope he doesn't. I don't want to see more of that because it's. Yeah, I want to like this guy because it's just that show's just great.
But holy crap! Like, what did he do to get? Because he's just so freaking ripped now. If you saw him on Smallville, I looked at that clip the other day. I was like, he was like skinny. He's kind of like Barry Allen.
And he was holding the phone in that when he finally answered.
All the smartphone is
wire guys. Call. He has a group of muscles on his arm that I've never seen on another human.
Yeah, and his arms his breast flexes.
Yeah, it's like God. This guy's just he's.
I do feel like he's gotten even bigger since season 1.
Oh, he has. He did. He just did something where he talked about what he did to get ready for this.
Yeah,
I mean he has got. I mean. How is he not? I mean, he should be playing Superman. He should be playing Thor. Just pick a superhero. Give him one.
No, that's the rumor. That's the thing is I've heard that he says he wants to be Superman.
Well,
some people are pulling him to be Batman, but he personally says he wants.
Yeah,
to be
he
Superman.
says he wants to be Batman.
Yeah,
I think Superman. I mean, good Lord, he's straight out of Central Casting.
I said, screw that. I don't want him Batman or Superman. I want him as Hawkman. I want him with Robert Venditti's script. I want him just taking the maze and just beating the shit out of people. I like. If you watch Titan's a horrible show, but to watch the parts where he plays Hawk, he's like so beat up and there he's got bruises and all that stuff. And like the dude, like when he's always got an ice pack on him and everything. He's on his legs, his arms, back. And he's just kind of constantly, he's a beast. Like he's in Reacher. Reacher's getting hit over the back with a pole or a bat, and it just snaps, breaks. Like it literally is the guy's a beast.
Here's the thing: is I want whoever ends up being Hawkman, if they do another one that's white, I want somebody with more miles on their face.
True.
And but I mean, good Lord, this guy is just—he's still young enough to.
Yeah.
He looks like a Boy Scout. If a Boy Scout fell into a vat of muscles.
Well, he's perfectly cast. He's perfect. In my opinion, he would be my number 1 pick for a Captain America. Someone talked about this on Twitter, and I was like, I retweeted it. I was like, oh, yeah, 100% perfect casting. The problem is MCU right now, it would be like a waste. It's like when you take Clay Mann and put him on a Tom King book. You're like, oh, like I would hate to see him get cast for Captain America, and then they just make Captain America shitty.
I guess it was funny though seeing him on Titans. Everyone looks like a kid compared to him as Hawk.
Right. I also have to agree with Bankman. As much as I don't think this would make sense from a business standpoint, I mean, because I want to see a shared universe at DC. But if you just did an isolated Hawkman movie, and it was based on the Venditti first 12 issues of that Venditti run, that would be phenomenal. Like he could, if he played that, I'd be so down.
MK is like, be Barry Allen, the Flash from Injustice, you know, where it's like
Flash. Alan Richmond is the Flash.
because he's jacked. I'm like,
Well, hey, to be fair, he's even bigger than John Wesley's ship's muscle suit.
yeah. Captain Atom, maybe. But like I said, I prefer Hawk and just let him grow a beard out, and they.
Oh, he'd be great at that. But I said he's I wasn't even thinking of Marvel, but Ash, you're right, and thanks for depressing us with that factual,
Doesn't he just look like Steve Rogers? Like,
oh yeah, and it would be. Like I said, it would be a waste of time now because, well, for one thing, the MCU has zero interest in a white Captain America
right now. Yeah.
So,
although on the other hand, just devil's advocate here, if for some reason, because Disney's getting a lot of pressure from their investors right now, they're losing billions.
Oh yeah.
If Disney, because they get a new CEO right now, right? They don't have a CEO right now. They get a new CEO and they decide to we're going to just, radical changes. We're right as of today, we're getting rid of this bullshit. We are fixing the MCU, whatever it takes. If you wanted a goodwill gesture, what better to do to show your intent to be like, look, we're serious about this. Here's our new Captain America.
Well, you know why that's not going to happen.
Casting choices. Give me a dream. It's Christmas. If
you just killed mine a minute ago.
I didn't kill it. I'm trying to give you the other side.
You're trying to give it back. I appreciate that.
I'm just saying, what sold the original MCU besides decent movies was they brilliant, Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man. I'm drawing a blanks here. I mean,
Chris Evans as Captain America.
Chris Evans,
Hemsworth,
not a perfect Captain America, but he pulled it off. Chris Hemsworth is Thor. They showed their intent. When you looked at that first Avengers movie, and you saw every one of them, you're just like, yes, this has arrived. You felt like the Marvel Studios really cared about this property, and we're trying to bring the best possible product we can. That's what they need to do again. They need to show that they're serious and go get talent that's not just good talent, but also fits the characters, embodies it, so that people who are fans can look at the screen and say, yes, I'm sold on that. Let's do it.
I would say with forget about the MCU, forget about DC, make them Duke.
Duke.
Here's
another failed G.I. Joe movie.
Here's why, unfortunately, that can't happen. There's so much SJW rot at every level of Disney right now that you would have to clean out. You'd have to be like the new president of, what is it, Argentina? The guy is just gutting the government. Yeah. You would have to have that kind of power and be able to pull that off, because the people that work there now, they're going to keep giving. They're not going to stop doing this. They're going to do more. Investors be damned. They'll just pay them off with fucking BlackRock money or something, because they're going to keep giving us this until there's nobody left that knows that it ever was anything different. That's the long game. I hope you're right, Ash, but I will believe it when I see it.
Sure. I'm not saying bet on this. I'm just saying there is a sliver of possibility, because the one good thing about publicly owned companies is they have fiduciary responsibility. So oftentimes they get to a situation where it's they want to go a certain direction, but they legally can't because they are bound to their investors.
I hope you're right.
And this sometimes catches them. That's how Elon got Twitter.
Yeah.
Elon, they resisted it so hard, and he pulled that. He's like, nope, I'm going to offer so much money that you legally cannot turn me down, because you're investors. You have a responsibility to make them money.
But here's something. Here's another thing.
I want to ask real quick. Who is the Bronze Age hero? He was in Planetary. Whoa! Can you turn off your microphone? That bird is loud. How? Ash, you remember him, right? He's the guy with the legs.
There was a lot of characters in Planetary, so
he was the guy that showed up. He is the one. His legs were all destroyed. He's the one that followed. He's the last guy of his team.
Oh, you're talking about the man of bronze.
Man of bronze. What's his name? Because
man, drawing a blank. He's not a Bronze Age hero. He's a Golden Age.
or
You
Golden
know,
Age hero.
you talking about Doc Savage?
Yes,
Doc Savage. Yeah.
Dude, Reacher is, or the guy who plays Reacher is Doc Savage.
Well, Dwayne Johnson was perfect for that about 10 years ago. But I was going to say real quick. Yeah, I look at like in Marvel, just throw out a couple examples. They know they could double the sales on anything Carol Danvers related if they made her Ms. Marvel again. If you want to double the sales of Spider-Man, remarry Peter and MJ. They will not do that because they know that the wrong people want that. Now do that on a larger scale. That's how Disney's operating right now. And hopefully you're right, Ash. But I said, even with fiduciary responsibilities, I'm
not betting on it. Yeah. I'm just leaving. I'm trying to put positive hope out there that it's not all is lost. There is still hope out there.
So Alan Richards also got the build to be Eddie Brock too. If they run into a series of Venom,
he would have been a good Eddie Brock.
But they'll never.
I mean, I wouldn't want him now. I think that'd be a waste.
No, they'll never make him a villain. So, hey, darkness comes. He shows up right as Eggleton does. They must be related.
Just to prove we're not the same person. I'm not on for a long time. We bought a nice, Elizabeth bought us a nice roast, and we had crock potted it the entire day. That shit has fallen off the bone. So at the ripe young age of 12:34 on Christmas, the next day we're finally gonna have it.
Nice. The house smells wonderful.
Oh, it is so good.
Yeah,
but I was driving along with Elizabeth. Says, "So what'd you get your mama?" She goes, "I forgot to get Christmas presents this year." And I said, "Then you're buying dinner." So yeah, she was really cool about it.
You say you won't be here for long, but so did Breen. Yeah. And then we went to the AD calendar.
Does Eric have a freaking beef roast? I get the pork shoulder, but this is actually beef.
It's on his couch next to him. He's been eating it. He flips out the bone.
No, I haven't, and I am so jazzed. So yeah, I just wanted to see how you guys are doing and what you
not much. We kind of broke it up. We talked about Christmas comic books, and we just started talking about X-Men, Dark Phoenix Saga. So you got a nice little section so you can clip out.
Oh, that I could go. But did you time it like in 15-minute increments? That's a video. That's a video. That's a video.
Well, only when I got a chance to talk that I did that.
Oh, you're in the driver's seat. How are you not having a chance to talk? And it's Eric.
Well, I like Eric do his rants. I let Ash do his rants.
Yeah, I only came in an hour or two. I don't want to be blamed. There was
an hour or two. So
right.
I wasn't gonna go too long because that way you can trim it down if you really want to, or keep it, or even if you want to keep it. I don't really care if you delete it or not.
I've had a decent day of video making. I didn't do a lot of actual recording, but got pictures together. I was doing the Legion, and then thought, you know what? Let's do that Enemy Ace. I remember there was a silent comic, so maybe all I could do is just trim all the panels and put it together, slap some Christmas music on it. Let's go. And I thought I would do it in 5 minutes, but nope. I've got to edit it. I've got to make sure that our each panel on for the same amount of time. Do I want to hurry this scene up for that?
Yeah, we talked about Christmas comic books. Then we talked about, is Selena Kyle worthy for Batman, or is just Batman his own lover? Basically, Gotham City is his lover. Like
Gotham City should always be his first love.
Yes, Selena second.
Yeah, I don't think. But when they broke Selena and Batman up, they used the reason that you can't have a happy Batman. And the thing is his parents are still dead. He still would want to make sure that didn't happen. It's not sadness that's moving him forward. It's will. It's not even vengeance. It's the desire to not have that happen to someone else. So whether Catwoman is in his life wouldn't ruin him as Batman, but she is a criminal.
So I would say then go back to Silver St. Cloud. She knew.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was the Kevin Smith who actually she knew that get killed, right?
Was it?
Kevin Smith did a reboot in 2000s of the Batman.
What are you talking about? She just took up with Elmer Fudd in one of the 3 good Tom King stories.
Yeah, Silver St. Cloud got killed in that what's his face story that never finished.
What? Kevin Smith started a story and didn't finish it?
Yeah.
What?
Oh.
I mean, like Scott Snyder, like a lot of these writers that don't hold on to end books.
No, Kevin Smith just doesn't finish them for years. Literally.
No, Scott Snyder has terrible endings. Like he hasn't even finished the ending yet. Like we're waiting for issue number 7.
Okay, so World's Biggest Geek says, "Hello guys. What do you think Marvel should honor? How do you think Marvel should honor the teams that are coming in Inhumans, X-Men, Fantastic Four, Alpha Flight? First of all, I would do something Marvel has not done yet, and I think this is a great way of going forward for Marvel, and it would be a change, a drastic change. I would hire auteur directors. I would try directors with vision. All this time, Feige has been wanting everything to look the same, look like it's connected and interconnected. And while it worked for the end game, now you got to grab people. You put a period on the Marvel universe. So now I would definitely get people like Steven Spielberg or, you know, somebody with a vision, like I said. And I would also not connect them to everything. Now, granted, when it comes time for the big crossover, bring them on in. You can mention them here or there, but you don't want everything to look the same. You don't want things to feel the same. And you don't want a Fantastic Four movie that really stars the X-Men and vice versa. So I would keep things separated in their own franchises and then have that big movie that brings in certain characters from each, kind of like Secret Wars
and I agree
did
that
in the 1980s.
Like I agree, like yeah, like a lot of the books would do, like they'd mention like, oh, something happening in over there in Spider-Man.
Mhm.
It's kind of got mentioned in another book in a passing go, or passing by.
No.
That was it. They don't need to have like, unless it's like hey, New York, just got half New York is destroyed. Then they kind of have to mention it, but it shouldn't be the focus of the story.
Yeah, if you actually pay attention, especially in the 70s and 80s, when it came to comic book heroes and how they were all in New York, you would literally have to have Spider-Man swing by and there's Daredevil beating up Bullseye in the background because there were so many heroes in that same area. It just it would go. So you even in the 70s and 80s and such, you didn't have people crossing over all of the time. And in some cases, some characters were in so many books. It's like, how do you have the time? But you know,
they made fun about that with Wolverine. Spider-Man's like, you're in so many freaking teams. How do you do it?
Yeah.
I think that was actually Bendis in New Avengers did that. Made fun of it.
Spider-Man should never be in the Avengers. You cannot change my mind.
I like the fact he could finally get a card, and that's about he gets. And he's like, hey, like, but it doesn't work. I can't get in.
Spider-Man being in the Avengers would be like in the big time like event thing once in like all hands on deck kind of event, and then he goes away back to do
but I don't think he's a team hero. I just don't believe that he's a team hero.
Yeah, don't give Avengers card, but he should, like, if he shows up during the event and he crosses over with the Avengers, that's about it. So, like, he does like something's happening and all he's like, is it the Avengers fighting like the Cabal or whatever? He's like, crap, he gets dragged into it, you know.
Yeah, no,
yeah, you can always have characters
for the
team
joke.
up.
Yeah.
Well, one at a time.
Well, yeah, a Marvel team up's awesome, but
Yeah.
I don't think that.
No, but I mean, like, you can
Spider-Man is a
have
team.
the Avengers and do it kind of like the MCU did, where it's like,
Mhm.
oh, hey, Spidey shows up for a storyline. Like,
Yeah.
he doesn't have to be part of the Avengers to do that.
But every character doesn't need to be a part of every storyline.
No.
Right.
I think wrong lessons were learned for Phase 4 and 5 from the.
And I'm hoping that's not going to be the case with Superman Legacy. We're learning where they have to shove so many characters into this to try to world build real fast. It's like, don't.
It'll just be a repeat of
yeah.
things like Batman Forever and such, where there was just too many characters. Back off a little bit. Two-Face could have been his own villain. Why are you bringing in everybody else?
Yeah.
Or any
What
of
was that book you were talking about a few minutes ago where Spider-Man was teaming up with things?
Marvel team up. Yeah.
Yeah. That one. Where could someone who wants that issue get some.
You know what?
hand.
I actually have some Marvel team ups in the auction every Friday night at 8 p.m. So yeah.
Oh, I think you're gonna say Coliseum Comics.
That too.
That's right. Get mine.
This is your segue to chill.
It's his.
Yeah.
Well, he doesn't need. He doesn't need a segue. It's his channel. His whole channel is a shill for his.
That is, but yeah, he's right about that.
Yeah.
Eric.
What?
Speaking of shilling,
Kurt
I
Schilling?
just well, I put up these bids in hopes to win certain one. Okay, yeah, whatever. Wiz Comics number 61 is now mine.
Ooh.
From 1945. Now it does. You remember that batch of comics I had that looked like bugs got to them?
Mm-hmm.
It does have a chew on the bottom, but it's not. It doesn't look big enough to affect story. But I am just excited. 1945 Shazam, Wiz Comics.
Nice.
Not too shabby. Number 15 of GI Combat from 1954. Football Thrills number 1 ended up winning that one. You remember all those Golden Age books I was calling out?
Yeah.
These are the ones that I won. Captain Video number 2 from 1951. So yeah, kind of excited about those. See how they do.
I'm excited for New Year's. Anderson Cooper and his husband are going to be hosting it on Max. That's what. That's what's happened to Max now. Like all the DC stuff is going to Netflix and Tubi, and now Max is like Anderson Cooper.
Why? I can't wrap my head around it. I'm excited. Anderson Cooper.
I just can't hide it.
I can't believe I made a baseball joke and I didn't even get a chuckle out of Eric.
Well, baseball's serious to him.
Because, yeah, it is.
No, that was good.
All right.
It was a swing and a miss.
Well, I did it for you, buddy.
Oh, along with Avengers 136, 138, 140, 161, 187, and number 200.
Hey, look at Zach. Wow, I've never seen Zach in a
Hey,
chat.
Zach,
before.
what's up?
Zach.
Merry
Zach.
Christmas, lads and lasses. Follow our rah. Somebody on.
Oh, that's so fucking racist. You know, it's okay. To
I
admit
know,
the things
my
that
gosh.
You
Did
used
you
to
see
like.
that? Did you see that?
It's okay to admit that things that you used to like are now fucking off limits.
It's, you know what? It's also okay to admit that you fuckers need to shut the up, TikTok. And
Yes.
I'm serious.
Well,
Just shut the
It's not even that. Jimmy Palmiotti was saying like, get rid of Mickey Rooney out of that movie.
Jimmy Palmiotti is not
Breakfast
a smart
in
man.
Tiffany's.
Yeah, he's saying, can we digitally erase him out of the movie? He literally said that. I said, how about we erase you out of comic books?
Yeah, hey, what would we
It's like
We'd lose a good run on what's Jonah Hex, but that's all we'd lose.
okay, you know what? Okay, here's the thing. I lived in Thailand for a while. Do you know what? There is no R sound. So for a while I was called Alan. My name's not Alan. Never has been. Never will be. But did I go, oh, that's racist because you don't have the freaking... And guess what sound is not in the goddamn Japanese language? R's. Well, you're making fun of it. Yes.
Ely?
It's okay.
You're a bunch of racists.
And the thing is I don't know about you guys, but I do see Chinese restaurants open. The racist person to this woman has to point out that everything's racist.
They got what it is. They mixed up. There's no E's at all.
You know what should be the motto for 20? The motto for 2024 should be less capitulation, more STFU.
Yeah. Yep.
Hey, Amy.
That is absolutely the way we should be reacting to all of it. Shut the right. You're trying to silence it. Yeah, I am.
Yeah,
I'm really
and the first one.
You're gatekeeping. Yes, I am doing that from here on in. I'm gatekeeping.
And the first one's for you, Jimmy.
Gage or gay?
Hey Amy, what's up? Hi Zach, hi Dragon H, everyone, Merry Christmas. Yes.
All right. So here's the topic we haven't talked about. What did everybody get? I'll go first.
Okay.
I only got one thing to show. So
okay, cool.
Got a comic box.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
That is a nice one.
Yeah. collapsible too. So
That is cool. But I gotta
yeah.
say again, why won't Marvel and DC? If you see a T-shirt with a Marvel or DC character, it's either Silver or Bronze Age. If you see a shirt with a Marvel character, it's Silver or Bronze Age. You've got these really neat custom boxes, and DC has one, and Marvel has 0. Why?
Yeah.
They'd get my old ass wallet if they would do the.
DC has a few, and Marvel has a bunch of humble boxes,
but not Silver or Bronze Age art.
Yeah,
it's all modern.
The oldest is Alex Ross cover.
Marvel right, DC has an old Justice League, but that's it. And I don't understand. I would if you see a Marvel or DC Trapper Keeper out there, it's Silver or Bronze Age art, but they don't do them for the boxes. I do not understand that.
Well, that's because I don't know. I'm guessing it's because the idea is that the people still buying comics are buying the modern crap.
Yeah, but the people that won't read the comics do like the retro shit because they'll wear the shirts.
So my shop owner,
good point.
My shop owner said he's not going to order boxes more unless he gets to see a preview because all it says box A, box B from Diamond. It doesn't say anything else. He doesn't know until it shows up. Oh, that's what it is, and then he's stuck with a Deadpool or a Harley Quinn box, and nobody wants it. It's a Harley Quinn and an Ivy on the box, and they're like, nope. We might get an occasional girl who stops saying like, "Hey, it's Harley and Ivy."
Harley and Ivy are always on the box. Am I right, fellas?
There's no mail. Well, it's definitely not a mailbox.
that was because it was a crotch joke, wasn't it?
well, there's definitely no mailbox either version of it.
Oh goodness.
Cool. If only we could see it though.
Oh yeah, I've got my Christmas with the superheroes. I did a video today for Enemy Ace, Silent Night by John Byrne. And it's from this book behind me, Christmas with the Superheroes, book 2. But as I said in the video, it's actually book 4 because there were 2 treasury editions that were called that as well.
Is book 2 the one where Silver Age, as in pre-crisis, Supergirl talks to the dead man?
Yes.
So
that's book 2.
Yep.
So Drew's answering my question. He said, we got his teen nephew, 2 graphic novels, Kingdom Come and then Death of Superman.
Oh, cool. I got those Ghostbuster socks that I showed off the other day.
You're wearing them?
No, not yet. I was wearing... I
got an Amazon gift card, which would be great for the channel.
I was wearing Nightmare Before Christmas socks. I got a pack of those last year, and I wear them around Christmas time.
Oogie boogie boxers.
But I've got the the Ghostbuster socks, and I got a jacket that looks like a 1980s jacket.
Members only?
No, it's hold on, I'll be right back.
Oh.
After the lovely and talented Diane Parkinson models her jacket, I'll show what I got.
Cool. Ash, did you get anything cool?
No, I don't really get anything for Christmas anymore. I did buy myself this game that I'm playing.
You mean Gavin Newsom didn't get you anything?
I don't want to know.
Yeah, Ash, I had to buy these myself too.
He didn't get you your...
You got the Ghostbuster socks.
Green screen's on.
And you can tell that the jacket's green.
I thought you were just cosplaying as a Star Trek guy going up into the beam.
Yeah, I'm about to be energized.
Actually, I think he's cosplaying as that creepy guy still wearing his leather jacket 5 years after graduation.
Energized.
Joe bought this for me. My only complaint was that it's Packer cover colors and not butt cover colors. So, yeah.
So that means they're moving to Wisconsin, Vank. He's your responsibility now.
Even in Wisconsin,
I don't think E could handle being Wisconsin. We're just too friendly up here, and it gets cold.
These are what
What are
they
you
look
talking
out
about? We're not going to be able to handle the cold this year if it ever gets here.
Starting tonight, it's dropping down by, was it next Saturday? It's going to be at like 20s, right around there, somewhere around there, 20s, 30s.
What else did there was something in
And
the
then Quist is like, I got a long box of comics and a gift card.
And you know how I've been. This is something very simple. I love these kind of gifts and such. I like the jacket thing. Gail knows that I'm gonna need something because I don't have a jacket. I live in Florida. I don't need a freaking jacket. Florida gets so cold that okay, I'm fine. As I walk from my door to my car. I walk from the car to whatever. Usually I'm wearing shorts. I don't have a jacket. So I like the way she listens and she paid attention and she saw it's a very simple present, very not expensive, but she got me a big refrigerator water jug so I can actually just take my bottle up and get it refilled, and a fruit decanter so I could put fruit in it without it getting slimy.
It's funny you say you don't wear a jacket. You just go to your shorts, go from the car. Yeah. That's people in Wisconsin winter.
Yeah, you do that. But I'll guarantee you, I'm not used to that kind of cold.
You go from your heated home, and you quick run to the car, and you warm it up.
Yeah, and I bought the candy for all the stockings. I got my wife. I got Elizabeth stuff for them, and I figured I'd get me the good stuff. So I got the Rancher. I got a white chocolate orange. Have you ever had these?
Why's it gotta be white?
Because Zach's in chat.
Frankly,
I've had regular chocolate oranges. I really like those.
Yeah, frankly, I think white is better.
My niece, I gave a copy of the giant treasure. Oh, so basically,
no, actually, there were two of them, and one was dark chocolate, one was white chocolate, and I let my daughter decide which one she wanted.
Drew said he gave his niece a copy of the Wonder Woman Treasury, the Alex Ross.
Oh, that's nice. This was for Twiddles. He's actually peppermint is what you put down in order to scare birds away. They're supposed to not like it, but this is crack to the bird.
He's gonna become a diabetic if you keep doing that.
Yeah,
you have to give him shots.
Of course, the lenders.
Yep, those are great too.
Those are freaking awesome.
I still got the snickerdoodles.
Yeah, I love those things.
According to E, the bird stands, so he's already out of the door. So give him the crack.
This got some dark chocolate bars today. Also, a bunch of sweet potatoes. Oh, which speaking of, there's also is the rice done? Yeah. All right, kids, you have a great time. I'm gonna have a good roast.
What do you mean? You have a roast every night?
Yeah. Well, with as much as I bought. Yep. I'm good. I was thinking about doing another boxing just to remind everybody because we're doing Friday and I want to get these out and such.
Cool.
Good stuff. This is number one for DC. Yeah, there you go. Oakley Dokes. I'll talk to you kids tomorrow. I'm thinking doing another live stream tomorrow. You're better off with a jacket than sweater. Jacket can be worn open if it warms up. Yeah, sweaters. And and if I like to go to theme parks though, sweaters.
There are no theme parks in Illinois.
Oh.
There's no theme parks in Illinois?
No, there is. There is.
I thought Great America was in Illinois.
Six Flags there.
I'm looking for something in Indiana. So far, the best selling point to where Gail wants to move to Indiana is that we're about 15 or 20 minutes away from Eric's comic book shop.
That's the best selling point.
Well, I was gonna say, like, you can also
have a good day, Drew, and be safe, man.
Depends on what part of Indiana you go to. That you can tour where nobody lives because it's all crime. You just drive right through. Don't stop.
Yeah, she's staying away from that part. We've looked that stuff up. All righty, kids, you have fun. I'm gonna go have some roast beef.
I heard that Eric's moving. Eric, you're going to Florida?
Yeah, I'm gonna go be my friend Gary's pool boy. So Zach, I just got a question. Who are you regifting the dark chocolate to?
Oh, I love dark chocolate. You can gift it to me.
All right, so I'm gonna show every year every year I do my comic shop order to get here right around Christmas
Come on,
time.
Amy.
So I'm going to show what I got.
Here, hold on. Sure. Let me remove us.
It's not much. I mean, it's only 15 of them, but Avengers 119. $168.
Cool.
Which I can't believe I didn't have already. I'll probably find it somewhere.
He's got the ugly jacket on though. I can't approve of it.
Yeah, this is gorgeous George Perez art. Should have did our gorgeous George. Old time wrestling fans will get that. 218.
I think you and I are the only wrestling fans. I don't think there's anyone here that watches wrestling.
260. Only took 2 tries ordering this from my comic shop to have them actually send this.
I can compromise with that costume, but I don't like the red jacket.
And number 4, so I have now finished West Coast Avengers.
Nice.
Very
Bonito,
nice.
Where are you?
The girl from Uncle.
Wow. That's cool. How many of those are there?
5. I need 1, but the 1 is worth more than the other 4 for some reason. I have no idea why. It's Hulk 131. First Jim Wilson, but this I always love this cover. The last Marvel Presents I needed to finish the Guardians.
Nice.
And now we're getting into the good stuff. Modeling with Millie.
Nice. Oh, you should have seen the stuff that he was looking at. He won an auction with all the young romance stuff.
Cool. This is Chili. Well, damn, it looks like Chili before she became a raging lesbian. And the last Ms. Marvel that I needed.
MK, yeah, it is related to the Man from Uncle.
Yeah, Leo G. Carroll played Waverly in both series.
She was as a spinoff,
Yeah.
but it didn't take off though.
Yeah, only lasted a year. Our Love Story, the Giant issue.
You know, if I find these online, we're gonna read some of these on the channel,
Oh, it's
and they'll all have
that was cool.
Chesterfields.
Tomb of Dracula 48.
Nice.
And this one, I know Ash is going to wish she'd seen first. Patsy Walker's Fashion Parade.
Oh, I'm jealous.
It's a queen size annual.
It is queen size. And it's basically all pages of things that girls could cut out. There's not even a story in there. I'd forgotten that. I had that before, but now the what E would call the big dog. Super DC Giant number 21.
I like that on the side, that logo. That's cool.
It's this was the most expensive thing I got, and it's missing the centerfold.
Oh man.
I knew that before I bought it. Because that's why it wasn't well into 3 figures.
Is that the adult version of Speed Racer? And is he wearing a Santa hat driving?
I don't know, but it's there's a continuing story. I guess it was a feature in one of the comics, but it's crazy. But yeah. So I said that was what I picked up, and we're going up to a shop in Dayton Thursday. And
is that why you're organizing your books to see which ones you're missing?
No, that's well, that's the end goal. But I have them written down. But as I've been doing this, I've found about 20 doubles already. And I'm sure there's more. And that's, yes. And because the other night we had a guy on our show that's from the Dayton area.
Yeah.
They had a 90 cent and $1 box up there.
Jeez.
Of like Dell 4-color comics and old stuff. So, and he's found 2 times ago, he got 2 Ditko Spider-Mans for $9 each, and they weren't just completely destroyed. So that's hopefully he didn't clean it out, because that's
just I want to. all this guy. We have dollar boxes at my main store, and yeah, good luck finding good deals on that. But if it's like here now, this whole month he's had half off again. So I'm going through the back issues. I'm finding like stuff that normally $10 and getting it for $5. That's why I found all of those Donald Duck books.
Yeah,
I'm getting it for half off. It's like it's a steal.
Yeah, Steve was finding that stuff for 90 cents and $1. It's like, God,
Jeez.
I don't know how much will actually still be there.
Oh, one of the other shops has a Zorro book, so I might pick up that too. But yeah, so there was a Marvel Zorro book series, or was it a DC series?
Marvel, early 90s.
Yeah, was that any good? Because I only have issue 6.
I didn't know it existed until I came across a couple of them in a box I was pricing. So I've never read one.
Yeah, because I was just curious.
I think Dark Horse did Zorro series too.
Dynamite did also, I think.
Yeah, well, Dynamite also did. Was that Tops? So Top did Lady Rawhide, I think it was.
Yeah, and there's a Zorro versus Dracula that Tops did.
Yeah.
That was set in the Lady Rawhide universe or vice versa.
So like I said, I came across the Marvel version. I was like, I didn't know it. Even I didn't know that. So I was just curious. Of like, whoa, I've never seen it anywhere else. Just that one time. So I have to look it up again. But Dell has a lot of Zorro stuff. That was Richard Ware's from, right? And Gold Key, or is it only Gold Key? I thought Dell had some too, but
of which one?
Zorro.
Oh yeah, the Zorro that. Until oh god, what is it? Common America shattered the record for auction price. A Dell Zorro had held that had been the highest previously.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's another thing I series. I don't hear anybody talk about the Zorro series, the older Zorro stuff. It's usually Tarzan. Or Turok,
Well, Zorro, I don't know that Zorro has really kept it. I don't know that it's really stayed in the public zeitgeist. The way like Tarzan or Lone Ranger, even if you've never seen them, or even if you're mortified by the racism, you at least know the name Tarzan. But yeah, Zorro, I don't know. And then was it Sean Gordon Murphy just did a Zorro book, but it was actually just so he could make a book about his lesbian sister.
Yeah, pretty much. That's what it looked like.
That won't go anywhere, so that won't help. Keep his name out there, at least among comic fans.
That is, it's another thing I was thinking about too. How long before he's kind of pushed out of DC? You think because he's Sean Gordon Murphy?
Well, I think he's
he rose up really popular, and he's kind of died down.
Yeah, but he's also he will play ball with the SJWs. He's
sure.
And he is doing that. Plot holes, the Zorro book. So I just whether or not we'll get the same quality in like the White Knight. I don't know if it's still good. I haven't read the last several series, but
good night, Joe. Merry Christmas to you as well.
Good night, Joe.
Yeah.
Hey, Joe, where are you going to go with that gun in your hand?
The last Plot Holes book was decent. It's just that one part of that story I didn't care for. I'm
not saying that he's okay with playing to that side also. So
that's because he is on that side, but he is sensible enough to know that not everyone on the other side is Hitler incarnate.
He also wants to make money.
Well,
I see him as someone who's just playing ball, like kind of what Eric was theorizing about Alan.
He's the guy that before he became popular with Dark Knight did a book called Punk Rock Jesus, where Jesus was a punk rocker. So you think he's not like he's from California? I think.
No, he's from Ireland.
Sean Gordon Murphy's not from Ireland.
I thought he was.
No. He's American.
He's American.
But just for one brief moment. Bagora! It's Sean Gordon Murphy.
So a lot of people don't know what Red
Either
Girl
way,
is.
people do weird shit. I mean,
Robert
Nah,
Kirkman, Rich Sigling.
he was always lefty, but he's okay with like people with differing opinions.
no, I know he's a
That's
lefty,
fine.
but there's a difference between well, there used to be a difference between lefties and SJWs. And I never saw him as like the SJW, but I saw him as the kind that plays ball. And I was trying to say was what Eric was kind of
Yeah, that's because
postulating about Alan what's his name? Alan Richardson?
Alan Richer guy.
About him just sort of like he hadn't done anything before and he hasn't done anything since. And some of these people, I think they get locked into situations where they feel like their career's on the line unless they do the purity test. So they go out and they say the things that they think they need to say and whatever.
That is literally what happened to Scott Snyder. Like he got bullied into being.
So Sean Gordon Murphy seems a bit like that too. He's obviously he's a lefty, but he's not like the right. You know, he's like, not the complete fringe.
The best
weirdo.
Example is he is Joe Corallo.
That said, if I had backed a book thinking I was getting a Zorro story, and then found out after I paid for it that it was actually about his lesbian sister, I'm pissed.
Yeah.
Because
I gotta tell you, man, there was a time when I would buy anything Sean Gordon Murphy. I backed his last I backed Plot Holes, even though I didn't want to, because I was like, I don't like the whole that model. But now I'm not backing Zorro. I'm like, nope, I'm not getting lesbian Zorro book.
I didn't like the second issue of Plot Holes was, and it wasn't because there was the gay cat or whatever it was. It was the other stuff. There's just too much pandering for my taste. I mean, I kind of liked the book, but I dropped it because I said I don't know. I guess my antenna's up at this point.
No, you're not wrong.
And it's just, if you put it in your books in a heavy-handed way, it's like Philip Kennedy Johnson, who I at one point had some respect for. He did an issue of Action Comics, and Mag's story wasn't the worst one of the three.
Yeah,
because Mag's, I know what I'm getting there, but Philip Kennedy Johnson had Lois and Clark advocating open borders and calling people bigots that didn't. And that's, again, I don't, like the guy from Comic Book Palace says, I don't care what your fucking politics are. Those aren't Superman's or Clark or Lois's.
True.
So
right.
I said that was it for me.
And that's a good point you just said. I don't care what your politics are. They're not Superman and Lois. I think I'm more tolerant with a book like Plot Holes because he's not running around screwing up Batman, right? It's like this is his own IP. He's a lot more free to do whatever he wants with these characters, and I'm not saying I like it or advocating for it, but I'm just more tolerant of it because it's an original property. But you do that same shit in a DC or Marvel book, and I'm just like, I'm done. Like, take your crap elsewhere. You have a responsibility to the IP and the fan base that made it what it is for the past 80 years. When you think you can just come in and be like, well, I'm the writer, so I get to do whatever. Like, no, you don't.
No, and I agree. I said that's why the gay cat was fine. But there were some things that I can't remember what they are now, but they were more along the lines of,
the George Washington thing.
Oh yeah, something like the what was it that he was actually
Four slaves?
Oh yeah. Like
something weird like that.
It's just, again, it was putting 2022 or 2023 sensibilities into the 18th century, and screw that.
Yeah. Oh man.
Oh shoot. Retroactively, welcome to hour 3. I think I'm heading out soon.
And Merry Christmas.
Yeah, you've been saying that since dinosaurs roamed the earth.
See, now, you could have made that one a lot better if you'd come up with something a little bit more current, because, you're You've been in the Mesozoic era for a while now with these jokes.
Yeah, unlike you, I don't know the eras of whatever happened on Earth. I never lived through them, and I slept through history.
That's the problem with you kids today.
Ah, damn Gen Z.
Yeah.
I'm a millennial, not a Gen Z.
Are you sure?
Were you born in 82 and or between 82 and was it 98 or 97?
95. I'm 10 years younger than you.
Oh, that's a Gen Z. 95's Gen Z.
No, 95's a millennial. Gen Z starts 97.
Yeah, like again, Gen Z is kind of like 98 to 2000, or no, it fluctuates. I guess it's like 98 or
Yeah.
2000, and then yeah,
I'm basically the tail end of millennial.
Well, you're the tail end of a lot of them. Never mind.
Oh, alrighty. Well, he is your black cat, Eric, so he lives in.
I didn't ask for him. I don't recall asking.
He followed you home one day.
If nominated, I will not run. If elected, I will not serve.
Oh. Spiffy Gonzalo, what's up? Merry Christmas to you, sir. What if we did X-Men and F4, but instead we call it Fantastic 34?
What?
I don't know. So that comment was, personally, I don't like how goofy Spider-Man is lately. Yeah, like he always made jokes, but I like him when he's more serious. Are you speaking MCU or are you speaking actual comic books? I don't, because currently Spider-Man's been dead to me since One More Day.
Yeah, the problem is, and it's like anything else. You know, writers that think they're funny that aren't, write jokes they think are funny but aren't. Chip Zdarsky was a perfect example of that about 7 years ago. The writers that would make Spider-Man quippy back in the day, whether it was Stan Lee or Roy Thomas or Jerry Conway, or hell, Roger Stern, etc. They were smart, good writers and knew how to do that. So they always felt more natural. A lot of the humor in Spider-Man is just cringe now.
That's because the idiots working in the editorial and the people they hang out with think those kind of jokes are funny.
I'm glad I don't hang out.
So
in this
as far
crowd.
as far as they're concerned, they are funny. But because
imagine Spider-Man saying that's what she said in the book.
I can't imagine that actually. Not in modern day. I think the problem is twofold. I think what you said, that they think they're funny, which is, the lack of talent, but it's also even talented comedians are hamstrung these days. They just can't make the jokes. Like everything's off limits. I think this Beverly Hills Cop movie is going to be totally boring. Everyone's kind of like excited to see it back, and I understand like the nostalgia. Beverly Hills Cop's one of my favorite comedies ever, but I see that trailer and I'm like, this just looks vanilla. It doesn't look bad. It doesn't look like painful. It just looks like we're gonna just play it safe and never go to any sort of controversial jokes. Which, if you go back to the original Beverly Hills Cop, that was Eddie Murphy's shtick. Like he was always on the edge. I think it's gonna be Disney-ified jokes.
Yeah, like I said, I haven't watched 3, but people said 3 is the worst out of the current trilogy.
Yeah, 3 is the worst.
I watched 1 and 2 over the past 2 days, and I gotta say I like the second one the best.
Second one is probably the best as like a. The second one was a good movie, but it lost a bit of what made Beverly Hills Cop Beverly Hills Cop. Like it focused more on being like a good cop drama, and it was a Tony Scott film. Who I'm a huge Tony Scott fan, but the first one was that perfect mix of comedy and with some action. The second one went more of just being like a cop film with a lot less comedy.
Well, the thing is that I just realized that Eddie Murphy's comedy when he does Beverly Hills Cop is the same as Donkey and Shrek. He just laughs pretty much.
I would say that. Yeah, maybe I'd flip that. That Donkey is kind of trying to harken back to the
yeah
Eddie-isms. His
But
mannerisms.
I like the second one because I like Judge Reinhold was in the stiff.
Did anybody see? Speaking of Eddie Murphy, anybody see the Christmas movie he did on Amazon this year?
I heard of it, did not watch it.
Somebody said they watched it and liked it, but I didn't get around to it. Now it's just kind of pointless to watch Christmas
I
movie.
saw the
after
trailer
Christmas.
for it.
So did I. That's what, because that they would, every commercial break during football they would show that for a couple weeks, and it looked entertaining.
So it's funny because when it just finally reached midnight 17 minutes ago, the first thing pops in my head is that Moose is gonna beat up Reggie and Archie because it's after Christmas.
Yeah, Candy Cane Lane, I think it was called. So that's
Candy Cane or Candy Lights or something. I don't know what it was. Or I don't know. I'm just not a really big Eddie Murphy fan unless it's 48 Hours.
Oh yeah, I mean, now granted, I mean this is Family Man Eddie Murphy, but
Yeah,
but also Chris. Yeah, I like wholesome Christmas movies too. It's just
sure.
I can't watch until everybody in the cast is dead.
Wow.
Like the little statues.
Well, there's now ask that. Yeah, the 10 Christmas movies I watched this year, like 4 cast members are still alive.
Wow.
And 3 of them are, well, the little kid from Holiday Affair is in his 80s now.
Is he still alive?
Yeah, he was on TCM last year helping introduce the movie. I missed that, but and then there's, like I said, there's two people still alive from Meet Me in St. Louis. Like June Lockhart's still alive. She's got some nerd. So she Lost in Space. She's like 98, but still around, and Kim Novak's still alive.
I was looking up as far as see who's left in the whole Beverly Hills Cop universe, and pretty much everyone but the guy at the boss that was in Detroit. That he died last year. But like if they get Ronnie Cox come back to replace his role as as the main cop and the chief, he's 85. Taggart is like 70s. He's a mid 70s. Judge Reinhold.
Yeah, that's
and
another
Eddie
thing
Murphy
that I had a problem with.
Yeah.
Seeing in the trailer, I'm like, I'm just not buying these guys like still being cops and not retired.
Well, yeah, like my thoughts is that Eddie Murphy's not a cop; he's a PI. That's only I think
the movie's called Beverly Hills Cop.
Well, that's because Beverly Hills PI would confuse.
Actually, it's called Axel Foley. That's what I call it.
I think it's called Beverly Hills Cop Axel F. In a really stupid name. I don't get.
I don't know. Like you said, until I see it.
But it would have been interesting actually if they would have called it Beverly Hills PI. Like if that was the case, and they called it Beverly Hills PI. Harkening back to that's part of the same franchise, but also going in a new direction.
I don't know, man. What's up to Tony Marine? First time seeing you here. I don't think you've been here before, but Merry Christmas to you. Who else was here? This is Biffy Gonzalez. Did I say Home Alone? Good Lord, I need sleep. That's another movie that's overrated. Home Alone.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
I'm going to go ahead and check out. But
yeah, I'm going to end it.
I got to ask Ash something real quick. Ash, have you ever watched any of the Pitch Meetings channel on YouTube?
I think it sounds familiar.
It's the guy playing both parts. He's the studio exec and the writer.
Yes. If it's the one I'm thinking of, it's hilarious.
Well, yeah. So you've got a new movie? Yes, sir, I do. And then, and at some point he'll say, actually, it's super easy, barely.
Yes, that guy. Yep, I love that guy. Yeah,
I want that shirt. He's got like 3 different ones that I've seen him wear. If he's got a merch shop, I got to get that one of those.
Actually, super easy, barely an inconvenience. Oh,
and I'm going to need you to get all the way off my back about this. Okay, then let me get right off that thing. I'm addicted to them.
They're funny. You're right. I agree.
All right. A few more questions, and I'm going to end it here. Where did I see that? World's Biggest Geek. Have you watched the brand new season 2 of What If, and you've been enjoying it? We answered this earlier, and my answer is still the same. Did not watch the first season. not gonna watch the second one. I'll go read the comics, the first volume, not the second one.
Well, the comics are no longer What If.
Yeah, the second volume. The second volume
They
is
were
safe.
prophecy.
It's after that.
Yeah. But yeah, and then to answer your earlier question, I've never watched Chico the Man, but I've heard of it. And then the last question I got here, if I'm MK again, who's more rebellious, plays by their own rules, John McClane or Axel Foley? I would say Axel Foley plays by his own rules. He literally is a he was a former thief, like, or former miscreant before he became a cop. So I mean, second one, he just moves inside this people's house. He swindles away to got a hotel room in the first one. Second one, he gets his mansion to himself. He's in by the pool. He skirts the rules a lot. John McClane, he's kind of the same thing, but not to the extent. It's like I said, Beverly Hills Cop is a totally different animal than the Die Hard movies.
They should have waited a few years, had him move into the mansion, and kick Macaulay Culkin out, and he should have fought the two guys.
Right.
You know what? One of the things that Beverly Hills Cop was different than, I think, was struggled today, because if you go back and watch the original Beverly Hills Cop, it wasn't some sort of like he was busting up this crime syndicate that was just like unbelievable. It was like very grounded cop show. Like he was breaking up some criminals, but it wasn't like this out. Nowadays, like Hollywood always wants to be like just over the top. Like it's not that they're just robbing a bank, it's got to be the most outlandish, crazy super criminals that the cops beat. And so I'm kind of worried, actually, that that's going to be the case in Beverly Hills Cop 4. We'll see.
What was the other one?
Is he going to be busting up, like, essentially, like the biggest mafia thing? Like it, like, I don't want to see super Axel Foley. Like, that's not what made that work. John McClane beat terrorists. Like, it was an unbelievable situation. He was totally outmanned, outgunned, and that was the premise of that. It's like, how can one man stop all this? But Axel Foley was just like, hey, I'm a cop. I'm out of my element. I'm from Detroit. I'm a pretty good cop in Detroit, but now I'm in Beverly Hills where everything's done differently. I'm a fish out of water. And that it worked. And then they tried to make it just bigger and bigger and bigger. And I think it loses something when you lose your focus. It's kind of like Jurassic Park.
What was the other cop movie he was in that outside of Beverly Hills Cop? Eddie Murphy did another cop movie.
Oh yeah, well he did 48 Hours.
Well, 48 Hours, but there was another one he did as a standalone film. Metro, that's what I never watched that. That's on my list.
Better than Beverly Hills Cop 3. So,
is it better than Rebel Moon?
I haven't seen Rebel Moon yet.
I have. You don't need to watch it.
Oh, I'm gonna watch. I
don't need you. I don't need Ashes around on the soapbox once he gets to the ending.
Well, it's only half a movie, so
I know, but there's elements in that movie that you don't like, and
okay. Well, I'm gonna give it a shot. I'm a Zack Snyder fanboy. Every movie that he's done, good or bad, I have found elements to like. So I'm hoping that this movie, if this movie is not his worst movie, I will be happy. That's all I can say.
I will say this: there was an improvement for Beverly Hills Cop 1 to 2 because they got rid of the Wayans brother that was in the first one, the hotel thing, with the whole banana thing, and then they got Chris Rock, the second one.
Mm-hmm. So I would see Metro if you like Beverly Hills Cop 1 and 2.
Yeah, it's on my list.
I would see Metro. But just think of it as like Beverly Hills Cop light. It's not quite as good, but it's not bad either. It's mid. It's entertaining.
We can't use that word on here because I don't have the gift for that.
Is that the movie? I think Metro. Is that the movie he did with Robert De Niro?
I don't know.
Wasn't there also a movie he did with Robert De Niro?
I don't know. Wasn't a huge Eddie Murphy fan back in the day.
The older Eddie Murphy stuff is funny.
Regrettably, I watched more Lethal Weapons as they went on. So I should have stopped with Lethal Weapon 2. But
You didn't like Lethal Weapon 4?
It's like just got worse as it went on for me. But
Oh, okay. I thought 4
All
was
right.
fun.
so, kids, we're gonna end it right here. 2 hours and 20 minutes. And I hope you guys had fun. And let us know down below. For those who weren't in the comments or were in the chatting with us earlier, what did you get for Christmas comics? Or what did you get for Christmas? And also, what is your favorite Christmas comic? Those two things. So, what you got for Christmas and your favorite Christmas comic. All right, guys. Thank you for showing up here. And stop by the Geeky Puppet Show tomorrow for the top 5. I'll be at 8 p.m. Central. And, yeah. And then stop back here again around, I believe, 10:30 Eastern for the RPG. And then look out for an unboxing. But you can watch it after you watch the top 5 tomorrow. So, a lot of cool stuff. Good night, guys.
Hey, Ash.
Later, folks.
Yeah.
Isn't it really hard to beat that game while being on a live stream?
It's hard to beat it, period.
Nah, you're supposed to say, actually, it's super easy.
Oh, I missed the setup. No, this is a hard game. Can't beat it.
All right, good
but
night.
it's fun.
Good night,
Night,
guys.
Night.
Freeze frame.